People who work for social media companies that reviews the community reports. What report that you review that you will never forget about? Not sure if it counts, but I was a mod for a subreddit related to true crime. We got a report about a guy asking really off questions. He was basically asking hypotheticals about what kinds of clues detectives would look for if his wife was murdered. He was saying that she ran on a trail that was dangerous, and if something happened to her, he would want to help with the investigation. Someone told him it seemed like he was planning to murder his wife and was soliciting advice to help cover his tracks. As soon as they said that, he deleted all of his posts and account. We sent the reports up the chain, and I believe the super admins may have contacted the police. I never heard any follow-ups, so I'm not sure if it was a bad joke or what. It was really unsettling though. Somewhat unrelated, but admins do contact police sometimes. I was going to run away from home when I was 13, so I posted about it on a forum asking for a ride halfway across the country. Someone traced my IP address and contacted the police in my town. Next thing I know, I'm getting called out of my room because the sheriff is sitting in the living room with my parents. So yeah, I'd say they probably acted on that. How'd that work out for you long term? I'd imagine your parents were pissed, but hopefully something changed to improve your home life. My parents were more worried than anything. The forum it posted on was, basically encouraging unhealthy and downright dangerous habits for many people. That, along with my very real intentions to run away, got me lots of therapy. Eventually my parents divorced. But from the age of 13 this January it's been an uphill battle. In good now though. I worked for an electric company as a secretary. Somebody called my office, as the number to the office is on all of our company trucks, to report that one of our drivers was stopped at a park, playing a full-on pickup game of basketball during his work shift. I never said anything to anyone. I like that guy. Edit, thanks for the medals. I've worked for many a YouTube channel. The blacklists last for miles. Racial slurs everywhere, creepy shit about literally any female on screen. Never underestimate how moderated a large channel's comments are. Sometimes it's someone's whole day. One thing that stuck in my brain was one account that was just like pure vitriol. You guys are a disgrace, you don't deserve to live, kill yourselves and the like. Nothing particularly specific, but just hateful. So before banning this account from commenting, I decided to click on it. It's a girl, had to be like 13 to 14, and severely mentally disabled. I couldn't stop thinking about what this girl had been through to make her so angry, and that she could only express it online. They'll never forget that shit, man. How many other shitty YouTube commenters are just like bullied or even abused kids with nowhere else to lash out? Edit. Okay, so a couple people have been like, ooh, how do I get that job? And trust me, that's by far the worst job I've ever had. For me it was part of being a pa. I literally buttered some asshole's bagel for him. And drove around picking up lunch orders and getting yelled at when it came back cold cause they sent me to some craft brewery a half hour away. If you want entry-level employment, go ahead on entertainmentcareers.com or whatever, but trust me when I say you probably want to go a different direction. Oh god, I had a really similar experience about 6 years ago. I'd commented on a video, can't remember any of the context, and started getting harassed by someone in response to it. After a few days of being spammed by them, I went on their page profile, and saw they were commenting on video after video, harassing random people and saying the most disgusting things. Telling people to kill themselves, using slurs here, there and everywhere, etc. I also saw that she was a girl in her early teens, whose only video was of her looking very overweight and unkempt, smearing her shit all over a bathroom wall in what appeared to be someone's home. I was aware that children smearing their feces is an indication of some kind of trauma response, a mental illness, and given her online behavior I was convinced this was a very troubled child who needed help, not the online abuse she was, understandably, getting in response to her comments. I sent her a message saying it seemed like she was having a hard time, that I wasn't angry with her, and I hoped she could find someone to talk to. She never replied, but she did stop harassing me. Sadly, she continued to harass other people until her account disappeared a few weeks later. I still think about her. I had someone get mad at me in YouTube comments for a video where someone didn't know the name of a crystal they were using for a craft, and it was amethyst, a common quartz and basically the only cheap common purple crystal, and I'm obsessed with it, so that was a fast comment for me to make. Some ducking rando came up and left long comments tearing into me about being a know-it-all, then proceeded to go to my channel and leave horrible comments on videos of my pets and home movies I'd uploaded for family. I had to hide all my videos and block her to get her to stop. It was insane. She had an empty channel, so I couldn't find any info on her. She must have been going through her own shit. Yo. A few years ago, I made videos as a hobby. I made one about a video game, Star Citizen, and how the company behind the game was pretty sketchy and there were lots of conflicts of interest in the company's leadership structure. Basically a video about how investing in the game might not be wise. At the time people were spending thousands of dollars to support this game that hadn't and still hasn't even been released. Some dude went off on me. He made a new comment on the video every hour or so that was paragraphs long, ripping into me. I asked him to stop. Then, shit got really weird. He basically doxed me, posted my full real name and address in the comments. Threatened to kill my parents and sexually assault my girlfriend at the time. Also posted their full names and addresses. Thing was, the guy's account had his full name and it was obvious where he lived. So I just took screenshots of everything he said and emailed them to his local police department. Called them too. Told him I reported him to the authorities, and within a day the account was gone. My channel was sort of taking off at the time, but that one experience made me quit, although I may pick it up again now to stay busy during isolation. There are way more deranged, violent people out there than most people think. Bro, that's scary as shit, that would make me quit too. What a psychopath. I worked for a company where a user told his friend in chat he was going to kill himself by jumping from a bridge in UK. The player reported this to police and police contacted us for IP address to go stop him. The next few days I checked his activity and chat logs and he was inactive. And then a few days later he was active again. Such a relief, but I couldn't sleep well those few nights worried. When I was a bus driver, a passenger told me as they exited that another passenger was masturbating in the back. In addition to the alleged masturbator having severe autism, I didn't get paid enough to deal with that, so I hit a speed bump at 30 miles per hour and the problem solved itself. Technically you still solve that problem. But I won't tell. I feel like someone could livestream a murder on Facebook, and as long as the police didn't see it, Facebook would respond like 3 weeks later saying they couldn't find anything wrong with the post. Edit, yes, I know it has happened before. My point is that Facebook would only care if the police got involved. n.wikipedia.org Wiki live streaming crime. I'm not sure if I should say I'm sorry, or you're welcome. These included one in which a young woman in Gley, France, speaks via Periscope about her distress and suicidal thoughts and is apparently encouraged by viewers to kill herself, which she does by throwing herself under a train. What the duck? To improve your day, here's an article about people saving someone from killing himself. Source. Somewhat relevant. Today I reported a post on Facebook that someone shared of a dude ducking a raw chicken and Facebook replied by saying that apparently isn't against their guidelines. Of course it isn't. What do you think Mark gets off to? I was a mod on a page 13 forum 15 years ago or so. People would leave the site by pornociding I'd heard about hentai, but had never seen it. There were tentacles places I'm sure they shouldn't have been. Except it wasn't anime drawn. Photoshopped. God, I hope to hell it was photoshopped. I was absolutely not ready for that last part. Nobody was. There is a dude posting child porn on Instagram. It's been up for a week and hasn't been taken down and has like 18k comments on it. I don't understand how the algorithms haven't kicked in and taken his post down, or someone hasn't manually flagged his profile for removal. Thousands of people have reported him at this point. If you see this dude pop up again, use this link to report his account, assuming both yourself and him are based in the US. It'll report it to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I've used it myself in the past on a guy posting porn of underage teenage girls on Tumblr, and it got dealt with. Hope this helps. Edit, thanks for the awards, D-Edit 2, forgot to mention, it doesn't even have to be photos or videos in order to make a report. It can also be things like text posts in which a user describes acts of abuse they've committed, plan on committing, or even inappropriate material, dick pics, dirty messages, etc., sent to minors. Even if it sounds like bullshit and/or a fantasy, report it anyways. Let's see, there was a CP raid from 4chan, a user who we were about 99% sure was a grown man pretending to be a teenage girl, but we couldn't ban them because they spent so much on the site our CM wouldn't approve it, and the hacking collective that held the site hostage for months, resulting in a massive revenue loss and lead to the demise of our company. In between all that, all the porn and gore you could imagine. Nothing really bothers me anymore. I've left this platform and my account is all but deleted. Every comment of mine has been changed to this. Why? To quote a comment on the first post on Reddit, I no longer believe that Reddit can enrich my life. People can find better news, entertainment, and discussion elsewhere. Reddit is too full of low-effort content. Gross censorship. Gross is an underestimation of both useful and non-useful discourse, and the worst kinds of arguments. I advise everyone to leave and do something more productive with your lives. Go read a book, learn a language, talk to a stranger, walk around your neighborhood, take a class, cook a meal, or play with your pet. If you're anything like me, you won't look back and consider the time on Reddit to be life well lived. I hope to see you out there. PMs will not be responded to, no matter how original the word. Enjoy your time on Reddit. Or better yet, off of it. Upmoreward off day. I'm going to say it was late 07 or early 08. I actually had to spend a lot of my time on 4chan to watch for calls to raid. Damn kids. I joined 4chan, around this time. When pedobear threads were a common sight. 4chan has ruined my innocence. Probably not good for developing minds to be on that site at that time. Still not that good, but especially back then it truly was a cesspool of vile shit. I do sometimes wonder if I'd be different if I hadn't found sites like that as a teenager. Not that I consider myself incredibly ducked up, just that certain aspects of my mind have probably been warped to some extent. This is so true. I went on a few times starting in 2009, and it was mostly ul threads and garden variety hentai porn threads every now and again. The last time I ever looked I saw something involving an infant. The picture is still burned into my mind. I was 15 when I saw it and am 26 now, and I can't forget seeing it or how sick it made me feel. Really made me uneasy about people who were going on regularly after I saw that. Glad to hear CP is taken seriously now.